Hey tubers, welcome back for another adventure, and today we're going to be working on this mystery quad. It's kind of in the way, and I really want to get it out of the way. Not only is it in the way, but I have pieces of it all over the place, and I just want to kind of get it put together and put away. I think the seat's over there somewhere, at least I hope it is. Anyhow, let's dig it out and see what it is. So here we have it in the garage. Yes, it's a China piece of junk. I'm not sure which China piece of junk it is. Obviously made in China. I've been looking it over. I haven't found the plate. Normally these things have a plate on them somewhere that, you know, have all the specifics and who made it and where it was made and the VIN number and all that. And I just haven't located it. If as I'm working on it I find it, I'll set it up. Anyway, the story on this thing is I bought it at a garage sale, cheap, 25 bucks I think it was. It was seized. I did not know that at the time. I would have bought it for 25 bucks anyway if I would have known it was seized, but that's what was wrong with it. And it's easy to get seized, because you see the air filter there, downhill, right into the engine, water in the engine. Oops, I'm screwed. So that's all it takes. Hopefully it didn't seize again from sitting around. We'll go through that whole procedure of is the engine free, and you know, we'll do a quick compression test on it to make sure the valves didn't seize up. You know, it seems silly to do all this stuff, but you kind of have to, right? You don't get a lot of choice. So with that, I guess I'm gonna start exactly there. I'm going to get that little cover off. We'll spin the engine over and see how it's feeling. If it did seize, this will be the second time I've had to unseize it, so I won't be the happiest camper in the world. Okay, started to put air in the tires. 3 out of 4 took air. This one gave me some trouble, so I had to put the old tourniquet on it. When you tighten the center of the tire, it pushes out and it seals. Unfortunately, with these China all-terrain vehicles, the tires are junk. You really got to work at keeping them on the rim. Quite honestly, it's almost like the first thing you should do is go out and buy 4 tubes, pop the tires off, put the tubes in them, and life would be a little better. I have had some luck. If you put, you know, rubber cement on the beads, that does help. But in the meantime, I just put a little tourniquet on there. It is taking air and seating, so let's hope for the best. So the first place I always like to start with these things is I always want to make sure the engine isn't seized. I mentioned before, right, air cleaner, downhill engine. So it's wise just to spin these guys right on out, and life is good. Got a beautiful day going on here. For the Hudson Valley, normally this type of year, we're lucky to be swinging back and forth between something like 36 Fahrenheit during the day, which is, I don't know, 2 or 3 degrees Celsius, 5 degrees Celsius, and at night 18 degrees. So see if my memory serves me. Oh, I think we're okay. Sounds like we even have compression, and you hear that? So that's a good sign. Anyway, I'm going to put that cover back on, and we're not far from putting a battery to this thing. Okay, tubers, we're going to try a couple of different things at the same time. First of all, we're going to check the spark. The ignition switch is out of this, which means you can't turn it off. So hopefully you able to see that. Let me zoom in a little more. Yep, you guys can see the spark. And turn it over a little more. Oops. And let's do a little bit more for the sake of compression. I'm just jumping the relay straight across. And what we get is somewhere around 90. So not too bad. Remember, when you're doing compression check, you got to have the carburetor wide open. If not, you could get false and strange readings. You know, this is always a debate. Do I just trickle some gas into the carburetor and give it a start? Or should I pull the junker off and clean out the bottom? I don't know. I think I'm going to be lazy. I'm going to trickle a little gas in there. Given that it's not wearing a gas tank, I'm going to hope for the best. We'll see what happens. So it's time to give this thing a cold start. Right. And let's see. I put gas into the long gas line there. You can see my little fuel tank. And I think all I have to do is jump the starter, right? We had spark, we got a carburetor. Looks like we have everything. Let's just jump the carb and hope for good things. And of course, I lost my jumping wrench. So let's see how it does. Choke, 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 choke. I think I gotta give it a little gas, guys. Hang on a sec. Where can I put this? Obviously, I checked the oil, and the oil was good. We got no smoke there. Get out the tailpipe. Wow, it's even going to idle. I must have run it out of gas. That's good. It's going to take a while for this thing to run out. This is one of those guys, you guys can see the digital display. I put it in first. Oh, that's reverse. Oh, it doesn't tell me first or second. I guess all it does is tell me neutral and reverse. That's cool. Do I have any headlights? Guess not. The electrical system isn't turned on. I don't have the battery going into it, so to speak. Right, I have no power coming up to the switches. So I think it's going to take a long, long time for this thing to run out of gas. Idling here for a half hour. Anyway, while this thing idles away, I've mentioned that I like this stuff. So I went through the first can and I said to myself, let me buy a gallon. The only problem is they don't give you a gallon. This stuff is expensive. So, I mean, these are like $7 and that's like $20. I don't know. Maybe slightly cheaper by the bigger can that's not a gallon. Boy, it sounds pretty good. Now comes the hard part. I have to start going through the hoard and finding all the plastic pieces. And I have to find the seat. And I got to find all the bolts to bolt it all back together again. So it's going to take a little while. I think I got to get that battery put in a little better. Yeah, there's a few things I need to do. So I think I should probably end this video. I should weld that up. I should do something with this battery bracket or find a smaller battery in the hoard. Yeah, there's like a bunch of details. Anyway, as you're looking at all-terrain vehicles, especially the ones from China, generally speaking, these 110, this is 110cc, the 110cc models, the 125cc's, I mean, this is a 110ST. For some reason, I'm thinking it's a Sunl. I seem to be remembering that it's a Sunl. Basically, the engines are all the same. Not a lot of difference there. Obviously, they come in automatic with reverse. 1, 2, 3, no reverse, and then in this case 1, 2, 3 plus reverse. The ones with reverse are a little better. I would kind of consider this more of a 3/4 size model, right? An adult could ride this fairly comfortably. They have the smaller size ones. They put 110cc's in them, frequently the automatic. But they're a little harder for an adult. Boy, this thing just isn't even that I can just put a seat on and drive it around the lawn on the hose. I don't know if you guys can see that. They're junk, but if you got nothing else to ride, they're okay. Anyway, I'm going to run. I want to thank you all for dropping by to watch and comment and subscribe. Typical stuff you need to do to bring one of these back to life. Please remember to keep your feet down, your heads up, and get out and enjoy each and every day. Bye now.